Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Hako episode number 24 reaction. So the previous episode we had Taiki in a tricky situation in the whole Kings game where he was told to asked to say who he likes, and Kyo helped him out, and yeah, that was kind of good. Then we had the whole episode was kind of focused on Chinatsu. That new guy, that I don't know his name. He he mistook Taiki to be like a fan of Chinatsu. Taiki was like pissed and everything, and then he ends up following Chinatsu. And the one thing that guy said kind of bothered him, where he was like, when he said that you're her fan or something, like Taiki was thinking, is my feelings just admiration? And yeah, but by the end of it, when he ends up meeting Chinatsu again midway, he ends up like confirming that no, it's not merely admiration. I do like her. Yeah, and all that stuff. Also, we had a little bit of Hina section as well, where Hina says in the end that she doesn't want any answer for now, because she's like, I'm just going to let it go, let it just keep going like this unless and until he starts liking me. If not, then I guess she cannot really do anything about it, but just in case, yeah, so she's going to keep the way open. She's not going to like tell Taiki to like hurry up to give the answer or anything. Yeah, so that's the thing. Anyways, all those stuff happened. Let's see what happens today. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's begin. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Yep. Hmm. They're getting ready for the bonfire. Ooh. Well, yeah. Oh boy. Hmm. A roller coaster. Oh wait, she was there? Oh, right. Yeah. Damn. This is what Kyo was talking about, if you remember, in that episode. Like, okay. Yeah, you're reading books. Wait, so she was doing it according to Tiny, She was doing what is written in the book. Oh boy, that's funny. Hmm. Well, wait. You'll never know. Hmm. I should leave because I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Roller coaster. That's why. It's like up and down, up and down. Yep. Yeah, but Taki's not like that. But that's the first thing to say. Yeah. Oh. Oh, he. Right. Okay, so she didn't say that. Okay. In her head. Mm. Ah, boy. This girl. No idea what's going on. Bruh. Yeah. The one who's loved more is the happier. That's the one giving all the love. Wow. Yeah. Not to be rude. Well, he's not wrong. Bro. Oh, that's funny. He's like, yeah, you're talking about love and all that, but yours don't last. So, yeah, there you go. Right. Oh, the bonfire. Yeah. Okay. All the players are here. Right. Mm. Yeah. What the hell is this? Right. Oh, it's going to. She's going to try to like put Hina over there or something. Ah, there you go. Yeah. She's like, what? Right. Okay. Oh, there you go. She realized what she's doing. Right. Damn, it's dark. I guess nobody's there. I doubt there's anything here. Yeah, she just said some random stuff. What? Oh. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Bus taking. Oh yeah, they went with the bus. Okay. Hmm. Well, because yeah, because he's used to running. Ooh. Oh no, this is gonna go badly. Okay, she didn't do it. Mm. Oh. Oh, okay, that one. Oh god, that's like an indirect way of asking him the. Oh boy. Mm. Right. Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, here we go. That's it. I feel like, yeah, he is going to reject her. Ooh. Oh no. Oh, here we go. Right. Oh. Ah. Yeah, it's done. Great. Well, Tak is going to. Tak is going to be like, nah. Nah, it's that Taiki's not like, yeah, he's gonna be like, because it's a. Mm, damn. Yeah, it goes both ways. Like, damn. Mm. Yeah. Like I said, I like her situation. Kyo was right about the whole thing. Like, okay, I'll talk about it later. Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. Oh my god, I am. Well, yeah. Great. Hmm. Is she gonna go? She gonna and talk to Taiki? I was gonna say, Ayame, or is she going to follow Hina? Oh, she follows Hina. Okay. Oh boy. She's trying to find Hina as well. Because she's thinking that, Hina and. Oh boy. Well, I wasn't expecting it to be this quick, but I guess, you know, I was thinking maybe like, I don't know what I was thinking. I think maybe in the next season or something, she's going to, like I knew obviously that she was going to get rejected eventually, but I thought like it was going to be like next season or something. But nope. Well, well, a few things to talk about today. Quite a few things. Um, yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just a unfortunate situation. Okay, okay, that's it. Just a minute. Let the ending end. Okay, that is it. All right. So today's episode. Well, like I said, it was I knew it was going to come eventually, but I didn't think it was going to be this quick. But yeah, there you go. So we had Taiki has a conversation, like a like a proper conversation with Hina, and Hina actually was like, "Oh, it's fine. You don't need to give me the answer." But Taiki was like, "No, I need to give you the answer. Otherwise, I won't be able to stay true to myself. I won't be able to pursue the, my own, like, what I like about Chinas. Like, I won't be able to do that because I'm feeling guilty about getting drawn to you. You know, that whole section. Now, I'm gonna say one thing. Taiki, after this whole thing, Taiki better try to properly pursue like Chinatsu's, like, and actually like go and like confess to her, actually be proactive from here onwards. Because I don't want any more wishy-washy nonsense from here on. He said, like, he literally told Hina that I want to, because I can understand what he's saying, because he has the whole the whole confession, like Hina's confession, like just strung around like that. He's saying that he cannot be true to his own feelings and he cannot pursue his own love for Chinatsu because he's feeling guilty about the whole situation, number one. Number two, he's being what can I say, he's being drawn to Hina, which is also kind of bothering him, and he, being the sincere person that he is, he cannot really go and try to pursue his relationship with Chinatsu because of this whole thing, and it is also hurting Hina as well. So it's like, because of all of these reasons, that is why he wanted to give a clear cut answer, and I respect that. But he better now actually try to pursue his relationship with Chinatsu in a proper direction, after all these things that he said here. Because I'm because that's what he said. I don't want him to just do the whole I'll keep waiting for this whole thing for like 2 more seasons or something and then confess. I don't want any of that now. He did this to Hina, he said all of this to her. He better keep that word now. And I think currently it is a lot more easier to pursue his his love for Chinatsu. He can, because Chinatsu herself kind of likes Taiki as well, so it'll be a lot more smoother. So it's a lot more, I guess you could say, his whatever he might have had to go through if he confessed before, now it will be a lot more easier, the whole process. I think so, at least. Because Chinatsu herself also kind of has a little bit of feelings for Taiki. She herself admitted it, and all that stuff. So yeah, so that's like the one thing that I want to see, I actually want to see now, actually him working towards his relationship, because that's what he told Hina, and that was one of his biggest reasons for Hina rejecting Hina. And like I said, I can understand him perfectly. What he said, it is true. If someone has confessed to you like that, it makes sense. He's feeling weird. He's like, okay, well, right, I he first and foremost, he's himself feeling guilty for starting to get attracted to Hina, because even though he likes Chinatsu, that's number one. Number two, he cannot really pursue his goal towards Chinatsu because of the whole Hina's confession thing. He's feeling guilty about Hina, and also that indirectly he also realizes that Hina seeing him with Chinatsu is hurting Hina as well. So because of all of these reasons, he rejected her. So because of these reasons, he rejected her. Now he better follow through, through his words. Keep his word now, and actually properly try to be proactive, and at least do something about his whole relationship with Chinatsu, instead of just staying in the background and waiting for that's all that I want from Taiki from here onwards. Otherwise, it will be, I don't know what to say. It will be very disrespectful for Hina, because then for what? If he rejected her and then he just goes back to the same normal routine of just staying in the background and waiting for 1 year, then when then the Chinatsu will maybe get to the nationals and then he'll confess, if that happens from here onwards, I'm not going to be happy. I really won't be happy. because I know that is what's the whole point of this whole thing at the anime in the very beginning. In the very beginning, that was how he started. That okay, I'll confess after 2 years. I know that's how it started, but a lot of things have changed now. The whole situation, the character dynamic, everything has changed, and I don't want that. I genuinely don't want. I want him like it'll be the best if he actually confesses to Chinatsu in the very next episode. What is the episode? Episode 24, right? Yeah, episode 25. The best case scenario, he goes to he goes to the bonfire, calls Chinatsu out and confesses to her immediately. That'll be the best case scenario. I doubt that's going to happen. But if he does that, I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, good for you, Taiki. I respect you, because now that he said this, he has to do it now. Otherwise, why? If you're just going to go back to the same routine of just staying in the background and waiting for 1 year for Chinatsu, nah, man, that is ridiculous if that happens now. So I better hope that he actually, first of all, just stop that whole thought process of oh, I'll wait for 1 year and then that, yeah, and just do it, I guess. But obviously, I'm not saying just rush into it or anything, but yeah, actually try. Try properly, that kind of thing. Because up until now, it was I guess you could say it was Ayame and Hina who were the main reasons why Taiki was even having any type of progression. Now Hina's out of the whole picture, so in that sense, progression won't really happen unless and until Taiki himself tries to progress. And same for Chinatsu as well. Yeah. But obviously, this is something that Taiki feels for Chinatsu. Taiki liked Chinatsu from the very beginning, so I would expect Taiki to take action, not Chinatsu. Chinatsu is realizing her feelings. That is different. Taiki is aware of his feelings, so he should be the one to take that action here. Just like how Hina did it. Hina was aware of her feelings. She took action. Taiki was unaware of Hina's feelings, so obviously he didn't do anything. But yeah, Hina did the correct thing. Taiki should do the correct thing now. Like I said, Chinatsu does kind of understand a little bit of her feelings now. She does understand she likes Taiki, but I would say she's still in the process of realizing. Taiki, however, he knows. He is confirmed that he likes Chinatsu, so he should be the one to take action here. And I would better hope that he takes some, after this episode. So there you go. Now that's the only thing that I want from Taiki from here onwards. Other than that, this episode was completely understandable. Like I said, I knew this was going to come someday, and you could probably say the only thing that probably triggered today's episode is obviously I am telling them to go to the the gym thing. That's number one. Number two, Hina herself kind of messed up here, because in Hina's head, she was like, oh, I'm just going to keep this thing dangling around, I won't pressure him, I won't do anything about that. And even after thinking of all of that, she made the big mistake of bringing up the whole conversation and steering the conversation in that direction, where she was like, oh, what were you going to say about the King's Game situation? Were you going to, and I think she immediately realized what she did after she said that, and she realized that, oh no, I was literally saying that I'm not going to push him for any answer, and in an indirect way, I literally did that, and you can see when she was like, oh, it's fine, haha, and she was trying to leave. She was in her head, she was like, oh no, I messed up, I wasn't going to do this. But and yeah, obviously, it's emotions, human emotions. You cannot really do anything about that. Logically, she was thinking oh, I'm not going to put pressure on from answer, but emotionally, she obviously wanted an answer and wanted Taiki to give back her feelings, and this to be a two-way street. But yeah, so emotion won here, but that was also the reason why Taiki actually talked to her about it and rejected her properly, So yeah, there you go. That was today's episode. So that was the whole Hina situation, and yeah, okay. So now this is the whole thing about the Kyo conversation with Hina. I remember that perfectly, where Kyo said that it must be like I know what you're doing, but it must be tough, right? Just knowing that, like you like that person, but that person likes the other person. So yeah, but Hina was like, ah, it's fine. Like I even if I like him, I respect, like Taiki's decision. If he wants to pursue his relationship with Chasu, I'm fine with it. I'll get rejected then, but I want to just take my shot and see if it works. And yeah, and Kyo was like, yeah, like I like like she was like, I understand your pain, but at the same time I'm Taiki's friend, so I'm going to like prioritize his feelings first. So there you go. Now today's like, there was a section where today Chinasu also kind of said, not Chinasu, sorry, Hina said that like what about like the time we spend. Now this is also something that Kyo like you can draw a lot of parallel with Kyo and uh, Hina, because like Kyo mentioned this before as well. Like she didn't really mention it properly, but apparently someone, as he said, like I'm assuming he was like probably good friends with a girl who he actually had feelings for, and this girl, like I guess like, yeah, I guess he never really confessed or anything, but this girl probably went out with someone else, and yeah, and this is where Kyo said that like I hate story developments where there's someone who is already like like kind of very much have a good like a good, very good, like a character, like like a dynamic with someone, and then suddenly some random ass character ends up coming and just taking that person away from that other person, which is something that exactly happened to him. And he said like, I hate those type of stories or something like that. He said, I do remember. So the Hina situation was exactly the same as Hina says in today's episode, in that section where she was like, we are the ones who had the memories, you know and then Chinatsu came and just like, yeah. So yeah, it's true, it's literally the same thing. And I feel like something might have been different if Hina confessed to Taiki like this before Chinatsu ever entered the picture at all. If Hina confessed to Taiki like this, and I feel like things would have been completely different here, because Taiki would probably start liking Hina, and once that would have happened, I'm pretty sure that because of his sincerity, like just like how this whole situation with Chinasu and Hina happened now, like he would, like the reverse would have happened, because he would start liking Hina and then probably get attracted to Chinasu, but then Hina's like that, yeah, it would have been something like that, because you can understand, like it was basically like like Taiki, as we've seen up until now, Taiki's sincerity is something which obviously like like he liked Chinasu from the beginning, and Hina confessed to him late, you know so yeah, that was like the whole thing. But or who knows, maybe maybe things wouldn't have gone that way. Maybe even if Hina confessed at the beginning before Chinasu even came in the picture, maybe still he would have like, no, I don't think so. Probably not, because I feel like if Chinasu wasn't even in the picture, Hina if Hina confessed to Taiki, Taiki would have had no reason to reject her. Like he probably would have been like, "Oh, give me a little bit of time." But since, as we know, he's so sincere, as soon as he would realize that he's starting to like Hina, he would probably confess back and say that, "Oh, I like you," and it would have been they would start going out together. That would have happened, But like, yeah. So I don't think, like if Hina confessed at the very beginning before Chinasu even came in the picture, things probably would have been different. But unfortunate, like she obviously had no and she herself was like realizing her feelings, understanding her own feelings, coming to the understanding that she likes Taiki little by little. And probably you could also probably say that Chinatsu being here and Taiki getting attracted to Chinatsu was probably also one of the reasons why Hina understood her own feelings for Taiki. So it's a convoluted mess, you could say. Like like each of the people's understanding of their own feelings is connected to the appearance of another character. Like like Hina probably understood that she likes Taiki after he saw Taiki liking Chinatsu, and like it's like it's like all over the place. And Taiki probably started realizing that he might like Hina after Hina confessed, and it's just, yeah. So, anyways, like, yeah, things might have been different, maybe not, who knows. But currently the situation, obviously Hina became the person who like just got the short end of the stick in the end. And yeah, literally what happened with Kyo happened with Hina. I'm guessing, like the same thing happened. But I guess for Kyo, I'm not really sure. I don't remember if they mentioned it, but I don't think Kyo confessed. So it was a little bit different. Hina, however, confessed to Taiki, but I guess you could say, because of that reason, like, you could probably say that Hina at least tried. Like, from the inside, she probably would be happy about the fact that she at least tried to do something, while Kyo probably never confessed, and Kyo probably still regrets a few of the decisions that he made. He must think that, oh, like, I don't know, like, I don't know his situation with whichever girl he had this whole situation with, but I could assume he probably has a few regrets, of things that he could have done and he didn't, and now he's regretting it. Hina, I feel like Hina's clear on that, at least. She tried. She tried her best. But yeah. Okay. And yeah, there you go. That was what happened today. Right. Hmm. Now I do wonder how IM is going to react to it, because you can see IM after she heard, like, like Hina said that, oh, he said that, yeah, he rejected me. And I do wonder if I'm just going to talk to Taiki about it. I think she will probably, definitely. And I do wonder, what type of conversation he would have with Taiki, she would have with Taiki. And if she'll actually get to know who Taiki genuinely likes, because she still has no idea, you know. So I do wonder if that's what's going to happen next episode. Another thing I want to talk about, which kind of got, I guess you could say, overshadowed by everything that happened today, which is the whole conversation between Kyo and Ayame. Yeah, Kyo and Ayame. So that's kind of funny, but Ayame's like, oh, like, she's kind of laughing and being like, oh, like, these two like each other. It's such a nice, like, like, she was saying something about, like, how it's always nice to see, like, when two people like each other and at the same time they're like friends. It's like, it's such a good thing to see. And Kyo was like, Kyo was having none of it. Kyo was like, at this part, you know what? I'm going to read this section. This part, I think, like, the subtitles kind of, like, butchered a little bit of it. But, okay, let's see. Kyo says, Moria, you seem like you toy with your partners. And Ayame says, like, I don't toy with them. Even if I did, I'd go out with guys who were fine with that. So she's basically like, I wouldn't actually, like, pull someone around their nose if they were like the sincere type. If they're like the wishy-washy type who literally doesn't care, yeah, I'd probably toy with them. But that's it. Right. That's number one. But I don't know. This girl is dumb, so I don't think she'll understand which person is sincere and which person is not. You know. So I heavily doubt she. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, she says, I mean, the one who's loved more is the happier one in the relationship. Wait a minute. What? Wait. Okay. Okay, this part of the subtitles is very confusing. She says the one who's loved more. You can interpret this two ways. The one who has loved more means the one who loves the other person more, who has loved more, or the one who's no, who is loved more. Oh, I guess. Okay, wait a minute. Who's loved more? Yeah, okay, you know what? Nah, but it kind of confused me a little bit. So she's basically saying the one who's being loved more is the one who's happier in the relationship. You know, who is loved more. So who's the person who's receiving all the affection? That person is the one happier in the relationship. Okay. At which Kyo like looks at her for quite a while, and then he says, then how does the one giving all the love find happiness? Very good question. Yeah. I was like, wait, what? I never thought about that. Damn. A coin has two sides. I never knew about that. Right. What a shock. All right. So, oh my god. Kyo says, you get asked out a lot, but your relationships don't last that long, do they? So he's basically telling her that, yeah, you're just in the receiving end and you never do anything for the other person. So you might feel happy about being loved, but the person who's giving you all the love, probably after a moment of time, they realize, like, wait a minute, I'm not getting anything out of this. So yeah, this relationship is not working. They probably end up breaking up with her. So basically Kyo is saying that you just receive and you never give, and that's why relationships don't last. So there you go. Like, you're the one to talk about relationships, or your own relationships never last. Here we go. Your relationships don't last that long, do they? She's right. He's right. He's right on the money. And because he's right, and because I may probably realize that he's probably right, I got pissed off here. Right. In the end, he says not to be rude. That's, oh my god, that's the topping on top of the not to be rude. Oh. Okay, but what? Okay, this part, the whole section, I don't know, the subtitle was a bit weird. He says, like, not to be rude, but what do you know? So basically he's saying, like, what do you know about love? And he does say the same thing in the Japanese, like, like in the when he was saying in the voice that I heard when I listened to it. She says setyoku roku ga nai, which means, like, you don't have, like, enough experience to convince me. You're not convincing me. I think that's a better translation. You're not convincing me. Like, yeah, instead of what would you know, you're not convincing me. Because this part really confused me. I was reacting and watching. Now that I'm, like, kind of reading it properly, I kind of understand what they're trying to say. But when I was, like, just glancing and looking and reacting at the same time, I couldn't understand what the hell these people were talking about for a moment, because the subtitles were a little bit weird for me. But now I understand. So basically Kyo is telling her that the first thing that he said is that, like, oh, you're talking about the person who is loved is the happier one, but what about the person who's giving all the love? And seeing how your relationship never last, I could probably guess why. Because you're the one who's always receiving and never giving back. That's why the other person probably just rejects you by the end of it, and your relationships never last long. And since this is the state of your own relationship, you cannot convince me, like, who are you to talk about, like, others' relationships? You yourself have no idea what a proper relationship is and should be. So yeah, you're not convincing me at all. This pissed off Ayame, because Ayame probably realized that in the end that she herself acknowledged later on, where she said that I never, I actually haven't fallen in love properly. So yeah, and that pissed her off. She was like, excuse me? Stay out of it, you four-eyed loser. You don't even have a girlfriend. Okay, right. Yeah. There you go. And that's basically what happened. Now, if you apply what Kyo said in the whole situation with Hina and Taiki, yeah, it is pretty obvious. Like, the person who's giving all the love is Hina here, and the person who's receiving all the love was Taiki here. And this whole situation dynamic, even though Hina was okay with it completely, Taiki wasn't happy about it, because this situation was literally the situation with Ayame and the people that she goes out with. She's the one who receives all the love, and like, the other person gives them. But the only difference between Taiki and Hina's situation and Ayame and the boys that she goes out with the situation is, number one, Hina knows about it and she confessed knowingly. That's number one. Number two, Taiki, at least in this situation, isn't as stupid as Ayame. Like I'm as dumb. She couldn't understand, like like she up until now she never had any type of idea about what the whole situation dynamic is. She was like, oh, the person who's being loved is the happiest, and then Kyo was like, yeah, what about the other person? And she's like, wait, what? Oh, true. Like that's the thing. Oh yeah, I never thought about it. Yeah, that's the other person that who's like giving me all these like affection is also someone that expects something out of me. I didn't know that. So that is the only difference you could say. Like Hina knows about it and she still did it, and Taiki is sensible and I guess you could say sincere enough to understand what is wrong about the situation. That's why he rejected Hina. Unlike Ayame, who's dumb, and I'm guessing the people who confesses to Ayame is not like Hina, who is okay with being, like not receiving, being not on the receiving end. They confess expecting to receive something, they don't, so they just break up with her by the end of it. Yeah, that's the only difference between these two relationships, you could say, right. And yeah, and like I said, that is why it's Taiki being sincere and little by little understanding, like the situation, he decided to reject Hina. Okay, but anyways, that was like the whole IMS section which I wanted to talk about. Right. You know what? I feel like I don't know which direction this is going, but at least regarding Ayame, I feel like probably by the end, she would genuinely find someone she likes and she'll understand everything. Like up until now, everything that she has heard from other people or have been seeing and observing from other people, like as you can see, she talks about true love and how she has never experienced that, and how like she was talking about Hina and Taiki's like relationship dynamic and everything. All those things she was talking about, um, she herself now doesn't understand any of that, and she hasn't experienced any of that. But like I don't know, maybe after coming in contact with people who actually are like Taiki, Hina, Chinatsu, like people who are actually in this dilemma and facing these situations, and her being in the spectator seat looking at all of that, she'll probably herself understand what true love is, and maybe by the end of it, she'll find someone who she actually likes, genuinely likes. And that is when, I guess, I don't know, like she'll experience true love and she'll understand everything that Taiki, Hina, and Chinatsu felt. Okay. Anyways, that was that. And yeah, there you go. That was today's episode. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about? Oh, in the end, Chinatsu, you could see that Chinatsu was looking. So I think she first tries to find Taiki, cannot find him, then tries to find Hina, and then she cannot find her either. And she probably thought like, oh wait, are they like, because she also knows about she knows about it, right? The whole bonfire legend or whatever, the rumor, that whole thing that like, oh, if you confess, that thing, she knows it. Yeah, her friends were literally talking about it in front of her, I think. Yeah, so she's probably thinking of all of that. Anyways, we'll see. Okay. Yeah, this was a like a Hina centric episode. It was a sad conclusion to the whole thing, but obviously we all expected it. Hina also expected it. Hina knew this was going to happen probably eventually, deep in her heart. But there was a part of her thinking maybe something else will happen. But you know what? I can respect for all the like everything that she has tried, and the way, even if it was like like she tried to find like ways to properly like kind of loopholes to properly make Taiki start liking her. I can appreciate the fact that she tried this much, because like I don't see characters like her in many characters like her in other animes who try this much for like, yeah, like usually rom-coms, like the side heroine or whatever, the side character rejects the main character's like, oh, I'm sorry, I cannot go out with you, and the person's like, oh, okay, cries a little bit, that's it. Hina, however, yeah, she went all out from the very beginning of the show. Not from the very beginning, you could say. She started going all out from the middle of the show when she confessed. But yeah, it was a very good, I guess you could say, attempt. And yeah, but unfortunately Taiki was like, yeah, no, being the sincere guy he is, he couldn't, and he rejected her. I do wonder how, like, obviously she probably wouldn't be able to speak to Taiki for a few days, but I think little by little she'll again bounce back and be able to be as good friends as she is with Taiki. You know, hopefully, like their friendship. I hope their friendship doesn't get. I don't think it will be. Hina's not that type of a person. Neither is Taiki. Taiki will probably feel awkward talking to her because he's the one who rejected her. But Hina will probably be like, it's fine. Like I know what I was getting into. It's okay. You go and pursue your relationship with Jinatsu. Don't worry about me. She'll probably say something like that. I can imagine her saying that. But yeah, obviously it won't be like the next day. It'll probably take a while for her to kind of yeah, maybe like 1 week or something. But after that, she'll probably be like, it's fine. Like I knew what I was getting into, and knowingly I did this, so it's okay. Like you were well within your right to reject me, and I'm completely fine with it. Like I'm not fine with it, but like it's okay. It's okay. And we like hope we can keep our friendship like intact. I think she'll probably say something like that in after a few days. So yeah. All right. There you go. Okay, so that was that. Uh, was there anything else I wanted to talk about the whole Hina and Taiki situation? Wait a minute. I had quite a few things to talk about. Like wait a minute. Let me just see. Uh, okay. No, I think I talked about like the main like thing, like because obviously like I can see a lot of people obviously being like, oh, he rejected the best girl, what the hell, I can see a lot of people. I can already see all the all the social media posts being like, oh, like like what the hell is this? You got one of the best characters and you rejected her, and now like, yeah. But like in Taiki's defense, he is, like he said, he's sincere, and that is the main thing. Like up until now he was feeling weird because he was like, he couldn't really accept the fact that he liked Chinas, but at the same time that he was starting to like Hina, he he didn't know what to feel about that, and he was feeling guilty about it himself as well, you can see. you know so that guilt was probably trying, like kind of holding him back, even in the Chinasu, like like pursuing his proper feelings with Chinasu as well. So he was, like he realized that after quite a while, and like after realizing it, he decided to tell it to Hina directly. And also, you cannot forget the fact that Hina was also being, like, because Taiki wasn't really giving the answer. Like, yeah, Hina told him that you don't have to give the answer, but still, Taiki, being the sincere person, he knew that Hina's not really, like she's also being hurt by this whole, like like status quo, like this whole situation as it is. So he wanted to, like give her a proper closure. Yeah, so he wanted to give a proper closure to Hina's feelings. At the same time, he wanted to like properly, like pursue, like be sincere in his own, like like feelings for Chinatsu, and completely shut down the whole Hina's, like the feelings that she had. So basically, like how he talked about how he has like 100% Chinatsu's feelings, and then on top of it 30% was like Hina's overlapping it, and that 30% was little by little kind of increasing. He felt guilty about that, you know and so he was like, you know what, let me just put a wall. you know more and more Hina's feelings was increasing. From 30 was probably getting 32, 33. he didn't want it to increase to like 100% or something like that. So he felt guilty about it. He started making a wall and just blocked that off, and now it's done. It's just stuck over there. By rejecting her, he put a wall over there, and now that 30% won't be able to increase anymore. And that's what he did. So yeah, like he knew like this was going in a wrong direction. It was just like, yeah. So I feel like another thing probably would have worked, and he wouldn't have to like reject Hina like this. If he actually confessed to Chinasu and Chinasu actually accepted his confession, then immediately his whole feelings for Hina would probably little by little just dwindle and go away. But like the fact that he didn't confess to Chinasu in itself was also kind of another reason. And Chinasu, like he doesn't, he has his whole situation with Chinasu was a little bit of a, that was also the reason why I feel like Hina's feelings in his heart was also increasing little by little. Um, so yeah, either of it. Either he rejected, as we saw, excuse me, he rejected Chinatsu, and that's why it's done. Not Chinatsu, sorry, god damn it. So that's done. Or if he actually confessed to Chinatsu today, and and Chinatsu was like, okay, sure, let's go out, then that also would have been like a way of like him closing, like like Hina's influence on him, like the feelings that he has for Hina, that would probably stop there. But yeah, but he decided to reject Hina first. And yeah, and like I said, I hope that now he actually tries to at least be more proactive in pursuing his feelings for Chinasu instead of just sitting around, because that's what he said, that's what he told Hina, and he better keep that word. Like I said, I doubt it's going to happen, but if he like goes like in the next episode, if he just goes out and confesses to Chinatsu, I will be completely fine with it, and I would probably, I don't know, applaud him for it or something. Because he, like, that's the thing, that's what he said, like, so don't just wait and for like 1 year to go or something, and like yeah, like just do it. Like at the beginning of the show, he did say that's what he was going to do, but a lot of things have changed from that point onwards. You cannot keep holding on to that. He has to do something now, like especially after today, after rejecting Hina and after telling Hina that, oh, I cannot be sincere in pursuing my feelings for Chinatsu because of this. After saying that and rejecting her for that, if he doesn't do anything about Chinatsu now, I will not be happy. I genuinely won't be happy, like I said. If he just ends up just sitting around again, just waiting, no. You know what, let's wait and see. Yeah. Okay. Right. And there you go, that was today's episode. Now that was that. I think I talked about most of the stuff. So not a scene by scene discussion, but let me just talk about the sections which I didn't talk about today. So the first scene, the section that I didn't talk about was that section where Hina looks at Taiki and Taiki was looking at Chinatsu, and she realizes that, oh, I knew what I was getting into and I still did it. And you can say it's very interesting because at first she was talking about how it was like, like, and she also saw Chinatsu and Taiki talking at night over there, like at first she talks about those things that really hurt her, like in this situation, because she's in this situation, seeing him with Chinatsu like hurts her, and she knows that. But then she also says that is not all. I also enjoy like a lot of these moments because of the confession, that there's a lot of things that I I kind of get hurt by it. It's not all that. Like that is something that I really appreciated about like the whole section over there, like Hina's section, is that I was genuinely thinking she was going to talk about like how like seeing him with Chinatsu like hurts her and all that, and that would be it for it, like she doesn't end it there. She talks about that, and then she says like, oh no, that's not all. I also, because I confess, there were so many things that I actually like liked. So the reason why I really appreciated her saying all of the good things is because now that she's rejected, for her at least, you could say it was not all sadness. There was a big amount of sadness because of what she tried, like her whole confession and everything. But at the same time, there was equal amount of happiness that she never would have probably experienced if not for the confession. So it's not all bad. It's half bad and half good kind of situation like that. So that is why I appreciated the fact that she continued with, like, not only how she felt sad about seeing him with Jansu and all that, but she continued saying that that's not all. Because I confessed, there were so many things I, like, experienced that I probably never would have. For example, as she said, that confessing to him and seeing him completely flabbergasted and blushing, that made me happy. Reading books and telling him about, like those things that I read there, and seeing Taiki just completely flustered, that made me happy. Imagining about, the Snow White drama and thinking like Taiki would be the prince, that made me happy. Then Taiki actually becoming the prince and playing, the Snow White role with me, that made me happy. These are the things that I never would have experienced if I didn't confess. And you could probably argue that the happiness were probably more than obviously the sadness that she had gotten from that, but the happiness was there. It's a significant amount, probably overshadowing. So you could say that, yeah, like that is what I really like, that at the end of the day, after everything that happened, she got a very, obviously, like a very big amount of sadness and everything, but you cannot say that that's all that she got from this confession. She got a lot of the positive, like, experiences that she didn't would not probably never have gotten. you know and it happened because she confessed. Then she also talks about, like, when she said, like, told Taiki about kissing, that whole section, how, like, she felt at that moment, that she probably never would have experienced if she didn't confess to Taiki. The part where, like, Taiki saved her, and everyone was like saying, giving rumors about them kissing and all that. And how, even though she did understand, like, Taiki was conflicted by it because of his sincerity, but she also feeling that it's not that bad hearing other people talk about them. And she also thought, maybe if you just go out from now on, like, how would it be like? you know she also talks about how she never would have experienced the happiness of imagining going out with Taiki, like, and what they would have done if they actually went out, like, like, went around shopping and everything, like, snapping selfies and all that, holding hands and everything. Yeah, and then she says it's a roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down. Yeah. So, like, yeah, I really love this thing about this show is that they actually, like, like, I was genuinely thinking here that she was just going to talk about the negative stuff, and I don't know, it never occurred to me as well that she would say something like that. So that really surprised me, the fact that after, like, a few of the negative points that she said, that, oh, I don't like seeing Taiki with Chinasu, this and that, she says a plethora of other things which are just experiences that she never would have and those experiences, like positive experiences that she never would have gotten if she never confessed. So at the end of the day, my whole point is that even if this ended in a rejection, she doesn't regret it, and that's the main thing. No, that is the main thing, because regret is a bad thing. If you regret something completely, then that'll just haunt you forever, like, like, yeah, and it would be like a negative experience for you. But Hina had, I guess you could say, the, I don't know, like, she had the strength, or I guess you could say, not strength, but, she could see the other part of it as well, like, not only the negative parts but the positive parts as well, and she appreciates that. So now that Taiki has rejected her, no, even if it is sad, at the end of the day, after everything, like, has ended, and, like, she actually comes, like, comes into, like, understands her, like, like, actually settles down from the rejection, she won't regret confessing to Taiki, because there's a lot of positive things she had with that as well. Like, and that's the main thing that I appreciate about this scene. Okay. And then, yeah, so then the whole Ayame and, like, Kyo conversation, I talked about that already, so I'm not going to talk about that again. And what else did I not talk about? Okay, Ayame telling Taiki and Hina to go there in the gym. like them waiting there and watching the bonfire from there, them having like small little conversation about the fun that they had, like up until now, and then her bringing up the truth on and dare, the king game thing. And this is where, yeah, Taiki decides to like properly give her the answer. And yeah, so I talked about this part as well. Like I said, you know like I can understand why Taiki did that, and I can understand, like, in his shoes I can understand why. Obviously, in Hina's shoes as well, I can understand why Hina did all of this. Why she confessed, and like she wanted to, like, make Taiki look at her any way possible, and this was the only thing that she could do. By confessing to him and giving him a way out. Like, oh, you don't have to answer me. You can answer me anytime. You like Chinatsu? Okay, go ahead. I'm not going to tell you to stop on my behalf. Like, you don't need to give me the answer. Like, if you confess to Chinatsu, then reject me. I'm completely fine with it. She said all of this. And she knew that this was going to make Taiki, and not only that, she started actively trying to make Taiki look at her as a girl, and she actually succeeded in it. Taiki genuinely started looking at her as a girl, as you can see, little by little. But the thing is, as she realized that because Taiki is sincere, and because she loves Taiki's sincerity so much, she knew it wouldn't work out by the end. And yeah, and that's why she was like trying to tiptoe around the whole thing, making sure that Taiki, she doesn't, like, like push Taiki to give the answer. But here she ended up asking about the whole king game, and yeah, that's where she messed up here, you could say. And Taiki was like, oh no, I have something to tell to you. And yeah, and then he says, like, I cannot go out. And you can see Hina immediately tries to stop him, and she's like, oh, it's fine, don't worry, you don't have to give any answer to me, like, it's okay, like, you like Chinatsu senpai, you're not going out, right? So it's completely fine, just like, just when you go out with her, then you can reject me, you don't have to give me an answer. But Taiki was like, no, I don't think this dynamic is a good dynamic to have. And he explains about how, like, he cannot be sincere for his Taichinatsu's feeling. He's feeling guilty. He cannot be sincere to her as well, because he's feeling guilty about the fact that she's giving him everything, but he cannot give anything back to Hina. The whole Ayame and Kyo conversation. That whole thing, like receiving everything, not giving everything back. Like, Ayame is too dumb to understand that, but Taiki understands that, because he's so sincere, and he cannot let that happen. Right. Yeah, and there you go. So that he says, like, I cannot, okay, that's not a natural way to be. Hina says it is natural. It all makes sense once I get you to look at me. Like, he says, I told you I cannot reciprocate your feelings. He says, why? You have way more memories than me. There you go. Yeah, like I said, this is a part where you can draw a parallel with her and Kyo, where Kyo talked about how, having memories with someone, there's some random character comes in and just takes away the other character, and she's, yeah, right. Is it because we don't live together? Then we could start now. Right. I don't know how Chinatsu senpai feels about you, but yeah, and he's like, even so, it won't change who I like. Yeah. Yeah, anyways, and there you go, that was that. And then, you know, Hina goes out, Ayame sees that, and yeah. Now, I do wonder how Ayame is going to react to this, because she has no idea that he likes Chinatsu. Like, he'd probably be pissed. She'd probably be pissed at Taiki or something. I don't know. We'll see next episode, probably. Um, right. And there you go. That was what happened. Anyways, I didn't do the scene by scene discussion today because, it's already a bit too long. I've already talked about this whole section quite a bit. And I think I covered most of the stuff, because most of today's episode was basically the Hina and Taiki's situation. And yeah. So, my final verdict, about today's episode, obviously, like, yeah, obviously, I saw this coming. Everyone saw this coming. if anyone didn't see this coming, I'd probably say that yeah, you didn't watch the show, or you probably haven't watched enough anime to see this coming. But yeah, so I was completely ready for this. I just didn't know when this was going to happen, so it was today, I guess. Yeah, but like I said, my final verdict is I completely understand Taiki. I understand why he rejected her. And I can respect that because I like Hina said that makes him sincere, and that what made Hina like him in the very first place. So yeah, so I can respect that. Hina's whole attempt at making Taiki look at her was a very valiant effort. Like I said, she tried her best, and I don't think that I've seen much anime characters go through this length, even though they're like a side character, not a side character but a supporting character, not the main heroine, to go through this length to do something like this, and then obviously fail in the end. But I can very much appreciate that, and that in itself makes, in at least in my eyes, makes Hina like one of the best characters in this show. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with the whole relationship, with Chinatsu and Taiki and everything, but unfortunately for now I do like Chinatsu, but I'd probably say Hina as a character, I like her a lot more because of everything that Hina went through. And it was her effort and everything was probably something, the way she tried and obviously failed in the end, was something that made me appreciate her more as a character. Yeah, but anyways, I think we'll probably get to see more about Chinatsu and everything as they go out with each other, because you have to understand, they don't really show Chinatsu's perspective at all, which makes her the enigmatic character who we barely know anything about. All the time she's just thinking about something and everything, which we never get to know. We see everything from Taiki's point of view, so we have a very good understanding of what type of a person and character Taiki is. Chinatsu is an enigma because we barely see anything unless until she says something verbally. We don't understand. I didn't even understand if she liked Taiki or not up until I knew that she has feelings for Taiki, but I didn't understand if she understood her feelings up until she said that to Karin. That's when I was like, oh wait, so you understand that you like Taiki? Okay, that's interesting. So that is probably the reason why most people don't know much about Chinatsu, and it makes her more of an enigmatic character, and people cannot really kind of support her in that sense. But for Hina, we saw everything in front of our eyes, every single thing, everything that she tried, and yeah. But I can respect her for that, and for now at least, she's probably the best character in this show for everything that she went through, and how this whole thing. I really respect that, and I don't think I have ever appreciated a side supporting character for any show like this, in a rom-com show, any other shows. So Hina's definitely very special in that regard. Yeah, so that's my whole verdict about Hina. What else? um yeah, and I would only want one thing. Like I said, this is the only one thing I would want out of after all of this that happened today, is that Taiki better properly pursue his feelings for Chinatsuna, because he told Hina that because of the whole confession, I cannot be true to my feelings for Chinatsu, and I'm being guilty about hurting you, about not being sincere to Chinatsu. So I have to end this here. I'll have to reject you. That's why he did that. So after saying all of that, if he just goes back to not doing anything about the relationship, I won't be happy about this. I really, I'm not telling him to just jump out now, out of the window, run to Chinatsu and confess to him. I'm not saying him to do that, but at least, properly try to, I don't know, kind of pursue your feelings. Take your time, maybe like, yeah, but just don't wait for things to happen, and just don't stop and wait for, like, like Chinatsu to go to the nationals or something like that. Please don't. That's the only thing that I want from Taiki. I don't know what he's going to do now, but I do hope he properly pursues, because if he doesn't, nah, I don't know how I would feel about this whole rejection. Because yeah, like, if he properly pursues his relationship, I'll be completely fine with it. I would probably say that, yeah, okay, yeah, that's good. So anyways, we'll see. Anyways, that is it. Yeah, that became a bit too long today. I'll end it here. So that is it. Thanks for watching. This was my reaction to Ano Hako, episode number 24. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week with the final episode, I think. 25 episodes, right? Yeah, of Ano Hako. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.